जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा। श्री नित्यानंद चरितामृत की जय। श्रील वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we are going to read this book, Sri Nityananda Charitamrita. Sri Nityananda Charitamrita, and this is written by the author of this book is Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. So in preparation for Nityananda Trayodasi, which is coming up in less than 20 days, we are going to read one chapter a day. There are 13 chapters, so we will read about the pastimes of Nityananda Prabhu from Sri Nityananda Charitamrita by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. So today I will read the introduction and Mangala Charana, and depending on how much time we have, either we will read the first chapter today or we will keep the first chapter for tomorrow. So the introduction. Srila Narottam Das Thakur says, Heno Nitai Bine Bhai, Radha Krishna Paite Nai, that without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, no one can attain Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. The ultimate goal of life is the attainment of Krishna Prema. This is possible only by the mercy of Sadhu Guru. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is the sum total of all Gurus, Samashti Guru. He is Guru Tattva. All individual Gurus, Vyashti, are representations of Sri Nityananda. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in the Harmonist magazine about the manifestation of Guru in the form of Sri Nityananda. Quote, the Guru is the embodiment of the manifestation of the divinity to the pure receptive spiritual essence of the disciple. So this is the writing of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's English is very high level. It's difficult to understand even for the English speaking people. So the Guru is the embodiment of the manifestation of the divinity to the pure receptive spiritual essence of the disciple. Nityananda is the primary manifestive constituent of the divinity. Nityananda alone possesses the distinctive function of the Guru. In Nityananda, the function is embodied. Nityananda is the servant God. He serves Sri Gaur Sundar by the distinctive method of reverential servitude. He is identical with Sri Balaram of Krishna Leela. Sri Balaram is not the chum of Krishna, but his respected elder brother. It is an intimate relationship characterized by becoming reserved on one side and of a respectful deference on the other. Individual souls are under the direction of Nityananda. They receive their service of Sri Gaur Sundar, that is, of Krishna, at his hands. Nityananda is not a jiva, he is divinity. He is the ultimate source of the jiva. The jiva is a potency of Nityananda. No jiva can be the medium of service of the Absolute to another jiva. No jiva can be the medium of service to the Absolute to another jiva. The Absolute alone may communicate his service to the separable constituents of himself. This is the real nature of the function of the Guru. But Nityananda does not directly instruct in the confidential service of Krishna. Srimati Radhika is the Guru of the inner circle of the servants of Krishna. Srimati Radhika, however, accepts the offer of service of only those souls who are specially favored by Nityananda and are deemed by him to be fit for her service. There is therefore a most intimate relationship between the function of Nityananda and that of Srimati Radhika, which is at once supplementary to and inclusive of the former. So Lord Nityananda's service, which is connecting the living entities to Krishna, is very intimately related to the function of Srimati Radhika. So Srimati Radharani's function, or her role, her function is supplementary to Nityananda Prabhu's function, and Srimati Radhika's service includes Nityananda Prabhu's service, or Srimati Radharani's function includes Lord Nityananda's function. But all jivas are not liable to be eclipsed by the deluding potency. Those who are so liable are again distinct from the eternally free jivas. Okay? Those who are so liable to what? To be eclipsed by Maya, are again distinct from the eternally free jivas. So there's conditioned living entities and those who are not conditioned, liberated. The eternally free jivas are inseparable associates of Nityananda. They are integrated part and parcel of himself. They never fall into the clutches of Maya. When Nityananda manifests his appearance on the mundane plane, his inseparable constituents also appear in his company. They sometimes manifest their function on this lower place in a visible form on the errands of Nityananda. They are Vaishnavas whose subordination to Nityananda is natural and ingrained in their nature. It is not necessary for such souls to undergo the process of enlightenment for being restored to the spiritual plane. Unless this fact is borne in mind, the conditioned soul may be tempted to undervalue the constant guidance of the Guru on the hypocritical plea of following in the footsteps of the eternally free, pure devotees. I'll read that part again. Unless this fact is borne in mind. Which fact? That for those who are eternally liberated souls, those who are eternally liberated souls, they are always inseparable from Nityananda's company, Lord Nityananda's company. And service to Nityananda Prabhu and subordination to Nityananda Prabhu is ingrained in their nature. It is inseparable from their nature. So, for such devotees, when Nityananda Prabhu comes to this earthly planet, they also come. So, for them, it is not necessary that they should go through the usual process of enlightenment, right? Go through the, the various stages of bhakti, and then finally you will come to the stage where, you achieve Krishna prema. No, it's not like that for them. So, this must be understood. Unless this fact that these eternally liberated souls don't need to go through the same procedure as the conditioned souls to get to perfection. Unless this fact is borne in mind, the conditioned soul may be tempted to undervalue the constant guidance of the Guru on the hypocritical plea of following in the footsteps of the eternally free pure devotees. So, you understand the point? That means, oh, my Guru is not an eternally liberated soul. So, he's not as elevated, but I will follow the eternally liberated soul. My Guru is not an eternally liberated soul. So, one may commit this offense. One may commit this offense. The conditioned soul may be tempted to undervalue the constant guidance of the Guru on the hypocritical plea of following in the footsteps of the eternally free pure devotees. Those, therefore, who suppose that deliverance from the bondage of this world should be practicable without the constant guidance of the spiritual preceptor confound the conditioned state with the free. Okay? Those who suppose that deliverance from the bondage of this world should be practicable without the constant guidance of the spiritual preceptor. That means without the help of the spiritual master, I'll be able to become free from the conditioned state. Anyone who thinks like this confound the conditioned state with the free, right? So they cannot discriminate between the conditioned state and the free state. They won't understand the difference. They'll get confused. They will not be able to distinguish between the conditioned state and the liberated state. So that was by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in the Harmonist magazine about the manifestation of Guru in the form of Sri Nityananda. There is no difference between Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, as Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram are essentially the same and the original forms of Godhead. So Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are Krishna and Balaram directly, are one and the same. Lord Krishna manifested himself as a separate form of Lord Balaram for the performance of his own Leelas and to benefit the Jivas by showing them the path of developing loving service unto him. So, why Krishna expands as Lord Balaram? For the purpose of, firstly, for his own Leelas. So, there are so many pastimes of Krishna with Balaram. So, for his own Leelas, the Lord expands as Balaram, and also to benefit the conditioned souls, the Jivas, by showing them the path of developing loving service unto himself. So it is Lord Balaram who's helping the conditioned souls, who's showing the conditioned souls the path of bhakti, which can once again bring them back, which can help them reconnect with Krishna. Showing them the path of developing loving service unto himself. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that Lord Krishna is eternally enjoying himself in Golok Vrindavan along with his unlimited associates. Lord Balaram, however, is the source of all spiritual and material manifestations. All the Narayan and Vishnu expansions come from Lord Balaram. As such, Lord Balaram is directly the source of all incarnations in the material world. As Lord Chaitanya's pastimes are much more pleasing than Krishna's pastimes, so Lord Nityananda's pastimes are much more pleasing than those of Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram was famous for his pastimes of chastising the miscreants, such as killing so many demons, being ready to throw the whole city of Hastinapur into the ocean, and the killing of Romaharsha and Sutta. His form as Lord Nityananda, however, is known as Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Rai. He never gets angry. Akrodha, right? Without anger. Paramananda, right? Is supremely blissful. Nityananda Rai. He never gets angry. The form of Lord Nityananda is the most merciful form and the giver of Krishna Prema Bhakti. Krishna Prema Bhakti. Lord Chaitanya himself declared in Sri Nityananda Charitamrita Antyakhanda chapter 3, those who develop love, affection and respect for Sri Nityananda develop love and affection for me. All the demigods headed by Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma offer worship to Nityananda Swarup. If somebody thinks ill of Sri Nityananda or blasphemes him, whoever he may be, still he must fall down. Even if such a person professes to be a devotee of mine, he is not my devotee. So this is said where? In Nityananda Charitamrita, Antyakhanda, chapter 3. Who's saying? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. Sri Nityananda Charitamrita is an authentic Vaishnava literature compiled by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. This book describes the transcendental glories of Lord Nityananda. The birth of Nityananda, his childhood pastimes, his leaving home, his traveling to the holy places, his arrival at Navadvip and meeting Lord Chaitanya, his preaching the holy names of the Lord by the order of Lord Gauranga, his pastimes with Mahaprabhu at Nadia, his presence at the Lord's pastime of accepting sannyas, his accompanying the Lord to Nilachal, his return to Navadvip by the order of the Lord, his marriage, his distribution of love of God, and his disappearance from this world. All these subjects are elaborately and properly described in this book. The author of this book, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, is forever remembered in the Vaishnava communities for his wonderful literary work, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. The glories of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat were proudly described by the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in his book as follows. मनुष्ये रचिते नारे ऐच्छे ग्रंथ धन्या वृंदावन दास मुखे वक्ता Sri Chaitanya. No human being can compose such a book. Who's saying this? Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying. No human being can compose such a book. Actually, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks through the mouth of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 8, text 39. This is about Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat is the original book in Bengali language about the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Following the codes of Chaitanya Bhagavat, other books such as Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita were compiled. This present book contains what is presently in Chaitanya Bhagavat about Lord Nityananda. Okay, so whatever you see in this book is there in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Within Chaitanya Bhagavat, those sections of Chaitanya Bhagavat which are talking about Nityananda Prabhu. Okay, within this present book contains what is presently in Chaitanya Bhagavat about Lord Nityananda. But Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has given additional information. So, in addition to what is there in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur gives some more information in Nityananda Charitamrita. This includes, so what are the topics which are not covered in Chaitanya Bhagavat but are there in Nityananda Charitamrita? The affection of Hadai Pandit for Lord Nityananda, the marriage of Vasudha and Janava with Lord Nityananda, and the disappearance of Lord Nityananda. Therefore, this book, Sri Nityananda Charitamrita, is very similar to Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. This book, giving an exclusive narration of the pastimes of Lord Nityananda, will serve as a great inspiration for communities of Vaishnavas, especially from the English speaking world. So that was the introduction by Sri Ishwara Das, completed on January 31st, 2000 in Vrindavan Dham, India. Next is a short biographical sketch of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, the author. Srivas Pandit, an intimate associate of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, had an elder brother named Nalina Pandit. His daughter, Sri Narayani Devi, was the mother of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Mahaprabhu advented in this world to distribute love of God. He inaugurated his pastimes of distribution by first giving this prema to the 4-year-old Narayani Devi, who later became the mother of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. The Lord gave her remnants of his chewed betel nuts and thus empowered her. Later, because of being transcendentally empowered, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur was born to her. Sri Narayani Devi personally saw the pastimes of Lord Gauranga, whatever Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur heard from his mother and later found in Murari Gupta's diary about the transcendental pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wrote down in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur was a direct disciple of Lord Nityananda and was his companion in various pastimes. This book, Nityananda Charitamrita, was written by him. There is no direct evidence that Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ever met Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu, but he was born during the time of Lord Chaitanya. A book called Sri Prema Vilas describes his birth and family identification as follows. So this is from the book Sri Prema Vilas. There was a Brahmana named Vaikuntha Das who lived in the village of Kumarahatta. Sri Narayani Devi was married to him. From the womb of Narayani Devi, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur was born. He was the incarnation of Srila Vyasdev. When Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur was within the womb of his mother, his father, Vaikuntha Das, left this world and went to the spiritual world. When Srivas Pandit saw that his niece was pregnant and a widow, he brought her to his home. When Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur was 5 years old, he lived with his mother at Mamgachi. Vasudev Datta, a famed recipient of Lord Chaitanya's mercy, took responsibility for the maintenance of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur and his mother. At the house of Vasudev Datta, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur grew and studied various scriptures. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur came and lived in a village called Denuda after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Advaita Prabhu. So after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Advaita Prabhu, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur came and lived in a village called Denuda. Regarding the previous identification of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, Srila Kavi Karnapur mentions in Sri Gaura Ganodesha Deepika, verse 109, Vedavyaso ya eva siddhaso vrindavanodhuna sakhayaha kusumapida karyatstam samavisad. The combined form of Vedavyas, the son of Satyavati, and then And Kusumapida, a cowherd boy in Vraja, is Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur spent some time in Mamagachi and then went to Denuda, where he compiled Chaitanya Bhagavat. Sri Premavilas describes Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur's residing in Denuda. Quote, after traveling and preaching all over Radhadesh, I arrived at Denuda. There is the place where Keshava Bharati enjoyed his childhood pastimes before going to Sringeri Mutt to take sannyas. His nephew Gopal Brahmachari had a well-behaved son named Gopinath. He lived in this village with Lord Nityananda when I came here. I met Lord Nityananda along with many devotees such as Gopinath and Bhakta Rama Haridas. I offered my respectful obeisances to the Lord and began to sing and dance. After taking lunch, Lord Nityananda asked me for some mouth freshener. I had saved a haritaki for a long time. I immediately broke it into pieces, and gave it to the Lord. The Lord accepted it and said with a smile, stay at this place and glorify the transcendental qualities of Sri Gauranga. Do not worry, for you will see the Lord here. Stay here and work for the benefit of all living entities. Install the deities of the Lord here. Whenever you will feel separation from the Lord, you will be able to see Him here. By the causeless, that's unquote. By the causeless mercy of Lord Nityananda, the storekeeper of Lord Gauranga's love, we hope we will be successful in our attempt to glorify Him. May Lord Nityananda destroy all our obstacles and help us spread the transcendental qualities and glories of Him and His associates. This is our heartfelt desire. We conclude this life sketch of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur by singing the following songs composed by the Thakur himself. Antare Nitai, Bahire Nitai, Nitai Jagat Jagatamaya, Nagara Nitai, Nagari Nitai, Kathaye Kaya, Sadhana Nitai, Bhajana Nitai, Nitai Nayanatara, Dashadikamaya, Nitai Sundara, Nitai Bhuvana Bhara, Radhara Madhuri, Ananga Manjari, Nitai Nitu Se Seve, Koti Shashadhara, Koti Shashadhara, Vadana Sundara, Sakha Sakhi Baladeve, Radhara Bhagini, Shyama Sohagini, Sava Sakhi Gana Rana, Jahara Labari, Mandapa Sajani, Srimani Mandira Nama, Nitai Sundara, Yoga Pitha Dhare, Ratna Simhasana Seje, Vasana Nitai, Bhushana Nitai, Vilase Sakira Majhe, Hiko Hiboara, Nitai Sabara, Ankhi Mukha Sava Anga, Nitai Nitai, Nitai Nitai, Nitai Nutara Ranga, Nitai Bolia, Dubahu Tulia, Cholibo Brajera Pure, Dasa Vrindavana, Eini Vedana, Nitai Na Chado More. So this is a song composed by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. It is saying, Nitai is within and without. He is everywhere within this world. He is the lover and he is the sweetheart. Everyone says it. Nitai is my regulative principles, my object of worship, and the light of my eyes. Nitai is in all 10 directions. In fact, he fills all the 3 worlds. Nitai as Ananga Manjari eternally serves sweet Srimati Radhika. He is non different from Baladev, whose beautiful face resembles millions of moons and is surrounded by Sakhas and Sakhis. The sister of Radharani, Ananga Manjari, is very dear to Sri Shyama, and she is the life and soul of all the Sakhis. She decorates the arena of the temple named Manimandira. Nitai sustains the Yogapit and becomes a throne for the Lord to rest on. Nitai is also the dress and ornaments. He enjoys pastimes with the Sakhis. What more can I say? Nitai is the eyes, mouth, and limbs of everyone. Nitai, 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 Nitai. I see only Nitai dancing. Raising my hands and chanting Nitai, I will go to Vraja. I, Vrindavan Das, only request Nitai to kindly never leave me. So that's the end of introduction. And then we have the invocation, Mangala Charana. आजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावदातौ सङ्कीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, whose long arms extend to their knees. They have splendid golden complexions, and they inaugurated the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Their eyes resemble the petals of lotus flowers. They are the maintainers of all the worlds, the best of the Brahmanas, the protectors of the religious principles for this age. They bring happiness to the people of the world and are the most merciful of all incarnations. Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. O my Lord, you eternally exist in the past, present, future. Yet you are the son of Jagannath Mishra. I offer my repeated obeisances unto you, along with your servants, your sons, and your consorts. Note: in this verse, servants refers to his associates, sons refers to his Goswami disciples, or the different forms of bhakti, such as chanting of the holy name. Consorts can refer to Vishnu Priya as Bhushakti, Lakshmi Priya as Sri Shakti, and Navadvip as Neela, Leela, or Durga. It can also refer to his very dear associates Narahari, Ramananda, Jagadananda, and others, and the two Gadadhars, Gadadhar Pandit and Gadadhar Bhatta. Murari Gupta writes in his Kadacha. अवतीर्णौ सकारुण्यौ परिच्छन्नौ सदीश्वरौ श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यनित्यानन्दौ द्वौ भ्रातौ भजे. I worship the two brothers, Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda, who have descended into this world as the supreme controllers. Concealing their true forms, they have mercifully descended to this world. सजयति विशुद्धविक्रमः कनकभः कमलायतेक्ष्णः वरजानुविलम्बिसद्भुजो बहुधा भक्तिरसाभिनर्तकः. All glories to Sri Gaur Sundar, whose powerful activities are supremely pure, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, whose eyes are like lotus petals, whose 6 beautiful arms extend to his knees, and whose heart is flooded with loving devotional bliss as he enjoys dancing in various ways in Kirtan. Jayati Jayati Devah Krishna Chaitanya Chandro Jayati Jayati Kirtistasya Nitya Pavitra जयति जयति भृत्यास्तस्य विश्वेशमूर्तेर् जयति जयति नृत्यं तस्य सर्वप्रियाणाम्. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Chandra. All glories to his eternally pure fame. All glories to the servants of the great Master of the worlds. All glories to the dancing of his beloved associates. First, I offer my unlimited obeisances to the feet of the loving confidential devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I then offer my obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. He incarnated in Navadvip and is known as Vishwambar. That same Supreme Personality of Godhead has declared in the Vedas and in the Srimad Bhagavatam, आदरः परिचर्यायां सर्वाङ्गैरभिवन्दनं Madbhakta puja bhyadika sarvabhuteshu manmatihi. Great respect for my devotional service, offering obeisances with the entire body, worshipping my devotees can more than me, conscious of me in all living entities. I'll say that again. Great respect for my devotional service, offering obeisances with the entire body, worshipping devotees more than me, consciousness of me in all living entities. That's the translation. I therefore offered my prayers first to the devotees, as this is the secret for attaining perfection. I offer my respectful obeisances unto my worshipable Lord Sri Nityananda Rai. By his mercy, the glories of Lord Chaitanya become manifest. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the thousand-headed Lord Balaram. His thousands of mouths are the abode of Lord Krishna's transcendental glories. As valuable jewels are kept in a favorite place, so the jewel-like glories of Lord Krishna are kept in the jewelry case of Lord Ananta's mouths. I thus offer my prayers to Lord Balaram, so that the glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will manifest from my mouth. Lord Balaram is thousand-headed Lord Ananta, and all of his activities are extraordinary. The Supreme Lord Balaram carries a plough and possesses a gigantic body. Although exceptionally grave, he is intoxicated by the glories of Lord Chaitanya. There is no one dearer to Lord Chaitanya than Lord Nityananda. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya eternally enjoys pastimes with him. Sri Krishna Chaitanya becomes most satisfied with one who hears or chants the glories of Lord Nityananda. I have thus described a portion of Lord Ananta's glories. Please therefore develop attachment for Lord Nityananda. Those who wish to cross the ocean of material existence and drown in the ocean of devotional service should worship Lord Nityananda. My only desire at the feet of the Vaishnavas is that I may worship the feet of Lord Balaram birth after birth. Just as Dvija, Vipra, and Brahmana are different names of the same person, so Nityananda, Ananta, and Baladev are different names of the same Lord. Therefore, Sri Ananta is the embodiment of Lord Chaitanya's glories. Thus, I have described a fragment of the glories of Lord Ananta. Hearing the pastimes of Sri Nityananda brings all auspiciousness. Know for certain that they are revealed only by the mercy of the devotees. Who can understand the pastimes of Lord Nityananda? They are confidential even to the Vedas. I thus write only what I have heard from the devotees. I find no beginning or end to the pastimes of Lord Nityananda. I write whatever he inspires me to write, just as a puppet dances only by the control of the puppeteer. Whatever I describe is only by the direction of Lord Nityananda. Let me offer my respectful obeisances at the feet of the Vaishnavas, so that I may not commit any offenses to them. My dear brothers, please hear with rapt attention about the various pastimes that Lord Nityananda performs with his devotees. The pastimes of Lord Nityananda are the abode of all happiness. These pastimes are divided into Adikhanda, Madhyakhanda, and Antyakhanda. O Lord Gaurchandra, please give me shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who sustains the universes as Anantasesh. Oh dear brothers, please hear attentively the topics of Adikhanda that describe the appearance of Lord Nityananda. Accepting Sri Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their feet. So that was Mangala Charana, or the prayers of invocation offered by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur before he begins the work of Sri Nityananda Charitamrita. So in the next session, we will read chapter 1, and chapter 1 is the birth and childhood activities of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.